Well, Natasha, we have just arrived at the University of the Wits University's main campus, and as you can see here, students now making their way into the main campus, and we understand that they're going to gather at the Origin Center, where they had gathered a bit earlier on this morning. So the main question that remains at this stage is what students will decide on a way forward, what decision they will take after disrupting classes this morning, lectures, and also ensuring that all the Wits University campuses are not operational here today. So the students now will caucus, we understand, in front of the Origin Center, and they'll take a decision. Of course, the student leadership will then take their directive from the students on what the way forward will be. But what certainly doesn't seem like it's going to end at this point, the protests themselves will continue, but this time around the march from the education campus to the main campus where we are, extremely peaceful at this stage. Police really cooperating with the students at this point. None of the scenes that we saw a bit earlier on where there was rubber, bullets and tear gas that was fired. We're yet to hear from police at this stage the final tally of students who have been arrested, but we're getting indications at this stage that there will be released this afternoon. But of crucial importance at this stage is how then the university management, as you can see here, the crime combating unit for the province also making their way here. Riot police just behind us, also heading into the campus at this point. Let me see if I can't speak to Fasiha Hassan, who is with the student leadership here at the university. I'm going to try and just walk over to her in the next few minutes, and perhaps we can get a word from her if she knows what the final tally is in terms of the students that have been arrested. Fasiha Hassan, thank you very much for your time. Let's grab you while you're here. Quite a peaceful protest we saw moving from the education campus to Wits University. What is the way forward?
Basically, students now, we are heading up to Solomon House. We're hoping not to find the same situation that we did yesterday. You'll note yesterday private security blocked the way to the venue, and that caused a whole lot of difficulty in altercations because all we want to do is meet. So we're heading up there now. We're waiting to see what happens, but ultimately we will have another meeting that will now debrief on what's happened and pave the next few hours. Remember, this is a revolution. The dynamic changes all the time, but at least we were very happy that we were not shot at by police with rubber bullets. There was no tear gas and no stun grenades. We remained non-violent and peaceful. We're heading up there now to have a meeting. Any indication at this stage relating to the students that were detained this morning? We're hearing news that they might be released this afternoon. What's the official word? We have an SRC team there as well as a legal team. We are actually now filling out some of the paperwork for the release of those students. So we're hoping that by the end of the day we'll hopefully have them back in Solomon House with us. No word at this stage as well from the university's management, as well as those in government that you've been calling to reverse this decision. If that response still does not come in the next few hours, what is the decision that students have taken? Will we see a continuation of the scenes that we witnessed at Wits University today? I think we need to remember what we're protesting for, right? And that is for free and quality education. It's to speed up the process of the commission. It's to change the terms of reference of that commission to make sure it's investigating how. But we also want to know, when are we going to implement? We need some tangible, some concrete elements, and that's really what we need from government. And we also note that it's not just government that needs to be approached. It's also the private sector. They're going to become another element and a role player because they have not invested as much as they should have in higher education. So we're hoping to hear those kinds of discussions happening, less about a fee increment, because our focus now needs to change to a more sustainable solution. Do you think perhaps that while it's still maybe too early to conclude what that commission might come up with, but the terms of reference of that need to change, but if perhaps that commission itself concludes that it would be unsustainable, some in some sectors are saying, had there been a 0% fee increase for 2017, that would possibly collapse about 17 universities. So the commission itself is it's problematic. And I think the question you asked is, how will we feel about an outcome? And there's a general disillusionment with commissions, with task teams, with talk shops. And I think that's where the problem lies with the student movement. We're saying, okay, there's a commission, but given the precedent that's been set by government in the past, commissions, they are really just talk shops, nothing comes of it. And that's why we feel the need to put the greater political pressure. Now, if they do resolve that free education is unsustainable, we'll find ourselves in a very difficult situation. But there's no way there's no way that they can find it unsustainable for a variety of reasons. The first is factually we know it's possible. By government's own reports, by our own research that we submitted to the Free Education Commission. And that's why we're saying now, early, before we have a crisis next year, let us relook at the terms of reference. So that instead of asking a yes or a no question, we're asking how. Because we don't want to bring the state of higher education to a collapse. That's definitely not the intention. If anything, what we want to do is enhance it, but enhance it by opening up access.
Right, thank you very much for your time there, Fasiha Hassan. We'll certainly let you go. So many of those students now have made their way towards Solomon Mahlangu House. Whether they'll be able to get close to there, you'd recall yesterday what really started the fracas between the police and the students was when police refused to allow the students anywhere near Solomon Mahlangu House. So we'll go inside now to try and monitor the situation there and see if police at all are going to allow. We've seen quite a change in atmosphere here, Natasha, where the police now are really assisting students to march through the streets of Johannesburg and into these gates here behind me. We'll go in now and certainly monitor developments from there, and more importantly, what students will decide now after they caucus on what the way forward will be. Back to you in studio.
Griselda, thank you. Griselda Lewis at the main campus of Wits, just tracking that march for us, and we will get a sense of what exactly is going to take place on campus at the top of the hour in News Live. For now, we'll take a short break.